17 German positions, 6 Panzerfaust hits, 1 kilometer of road. By every measure, we should have died that morning. Poole saw Buchanan's tank burning ahead, 5 men cooking alive inside, and he didn't back up. He didn't call for support. He looked at me through the smoke and said, "Full speed. Don't stop for anything." The engine roared. We accelerated toward them. The Sherman's left track caught something in the road, and we tilted hard left before slamming back down. My helmet cracked against the radio mount, and I tasted blood, copper bright, on my tongue. Poole was still accelerating, the diesel engine howling like it was scared, black smoke pouring from the exhaust. Through the driver's vision slit I could see the road narrowing ahead, hedgerows closing in like a throat, swallowing us. Martinez was screaming something I couldn't hear over the engine noise. Thompson was firing the ball gun in short bursts, spent casings bouncing off the hull floor. A Panzerfaust streaked past us. I felt the heat through the armor and punched into the hedgerow behind us. Dirt and branches rained down on the engine deck. I'm 98 years old. That was 80 years ago, July of 1944, 6 weeks after we came ashore at Normandy. And I still wake up asking myself the same question. Why didn't they kill us? We counted the positions afterward. 17 German tank hunter teams along that single kilometer of road. 17 chances to brew us up. That's what we called it when a tank caught fire. They hit us 6 times. 6 Panzerfausts against steel that was never meant to take that kind of punishment. And we just kept driving. I've spent 8 decades trying to understand how that's possible. Normandy, France, July 1944. We were the 3rd Armored Division, Spearhead, pushing through the Bocage country south of the beachhead. Hedgerow country, 8-foot earthen walls topped with centuries-old trees, turning every field into a fortress and every road into a kill zone. The Sherman was a good tank in open country. In the Bocage, it was a metal coffin, too tall, too loud, too visible. The Germans knew it. The thing about Poole, Lafayette Poole, from Texas, 23 years old and already the most aggressive tank commander in our battalion, was that he understood something the rest of us were still learning. In the hedgerows, hesitation got you killed faster than boldness. My hands still shake when I hold a map, the same kind of map I was reading that morning when everything started. The mist was still burning off when we rolled out at 0630, 5 Shermans in column. Lieutenant Buchanan's tank up front, Poole's tank second, then 3 more trailing at 50-yard intervals. Standard procedure. The infantry was supposed to be flanking us through the fields, but I couldn't see them through the fog. Poole had the driver's hatch open, his head stuck out, scanning. He did that more than regulation allowed. Said he needed to see without 2 inches of steel narrowing his world to a slit. Made him a better tank commander. Would have made him a dead tank commander anywhere else. Thompson was on the radio from the bow gunner position. He was from Philadelphia, 20 years old, engaged to a girl who worked in a department store. He showed me her picture every morning. Radio's getting nothing from 2nd Platoon, he said, just static. Martinez, our loader, had the quickest hands I'd ever seen. Could have a fresh 75mm round in the breech before the empty casing stopped rolling. Equipment failure, he said. Radios are always failing in this wet. But Poole's jaw was tight. I'd learned to read that jaw over 3 weeks of fighting. Tight meant he was listening to something the rest of us couldn't hear. The explosion wasn't loud at first, just this rolling whoomp that shook the ground. Buchanan's tank lurched left, smoke pouring from the engine deck. Panzerfaust! Someone screamed on the radio. Then the second hit punched through his turret. I saw it. A streak of light, a shower of sparks, and then Buchanan's Sherman was burning. Poole didn't hesitate. Driver, halt. Gunner, traverse left. Loader, he ready. We stopped, and Buchanan's tank was cooking off. Ammunition exploding with flat, hollow bangs. "Sir, we need to back up," Thompson said. His voice was steady, but his hands were shaking. "Standard doctrine, we back up. Call for infantry support." "Can't back up," Poole said. "Road's too narrow. We turn around, we expose our flank." "So what do?" Martinez asked. I watched Poole calculating angles and distances in his head. "We go through," he said. "Full speed. Don't stop for anything. If we're moving fast enough, they can't track us." "That's suicide," I said. Poole looked at me, and his eyes were very calm. "Only if we do it slow." The diesel roared, and we lurched forward, picking up speed, heading straight toward Buchanan's burning tank. 30 miles per hour, 35. "Contact right," Thompson screamed, and the world exploded. The Panzerfaust hit our right sponson. The impact threw me into Martinez. I heard him grunt, saw blood on his lip where he'd bitten through it. The tank shuddered, metal screaming, but the track held and Poole never slowed down. The 75 fired and Martinez already had the next round chambered. Thompson was firing the bow gun, spraying into the hedgerows. Another Panzerfaust streaked past our turret. We blew past Buchanan's burning Sherman at 40 miles per hour. I saw Davis's body hanging from the turret hatch. And then we were through the first kill zone, still alive. "Count them," Poole said, his voice perfectly steady. "I want to know how many positions they have." I couldn't speak. Thompson was crying. But we were alive, and the road ahead just kept going, disappearing into the mist. Poole slowed us to 20 miles per hour. "How's the track?" he asked Wilmington, our driver. "Feels loose," Wilmington said. "Every time I turn, something's grinding. Can you keep driving?" "Yeah." The mist was thicker ahead. Every shadow could be a tank hunter. "Sir," I said, "we need to call this in." "Radio's dead," Thompson said. Poole was silent. "Doesn't change anything. We still need that intersection." "Or maybe we die," Martinez said. "Maybe," Poole agreed. "But we die either way if we stop." A bicycle was lying in the road, one wheel still spinning. "It's a marker," I said. "They're using it to range the road. Driver, traverse right." Wilmington turned the Sherman into the hedgerow, crashing through brush. A Panzer Shrek round hit our front plate and ricocheted up. Thompson fired the bow gun blind. We crashed back down onto the road. Morrison's tank got stuck, then powered through. There was a German soldier sitting against the hedgerow, perfectly upright. "He's dead," Poole said. "Look at his chest." The German's tunic was dark with blood. As we drove past, his helmet fell away and the corpse tilted forward. Thompson vomited. "Stay on the gun," Poole said. The road was narrowing. We were driving through green twilight. This wasn't a road anymore. It was a trap. "Movement ahead," Wilmington said. 50 yards. "Tank," Poole said quietly. "German tank. Hull down." Everyone froze. A German tank meant an 88-millimeter gun that could kill us at 2,000 yards. "Can we get around it?" "No room," Poole said. "So what do? We kill it first. Wilmington, full throttle when I give the word. Martinez load AP. Thompson fire at their vision ports. I'll try for a flank shot as we pass." "As we pass," I said. "Only way to get an angle on them," Poole said. The German tank sat waiting. "Range?" Poole asked. 120 yards, 110, 100. Gunner, you have a shot. Negative, Ellis said. Hull down position. Then we get closer. Wilmington, accelerate. The diesel roared. 70 yards. They're going to fire, Martinez said. Maybe they're waiting for the others, I said, for the rest of our column. The German tank fired, not at us, at Morrison's tank. The 88 round hit Morrison's Sherman dead center and detonated inside. The explosion blew the turret completely off. I watched it spiral up into the air and crash down into the hedgerow. Go, go, go! Poole was screaming. We shot past the German tank at 40 miles per hour, so close I could have touched it. Ellis traversed hard right. Panzerfausts erupted from both hedgerows at once, 6 of them, maybe 8. One hit our turret and glanced off. One hit the track and exploded. Ellis fired. The 75 round caught the German tank in the side skirt, penetrated, and something inside went boom. We were taking fire from everywhere now. Don't stop, Poole shouted. Wilmington had us doing 45 miles per hour. The Sherman was shaking itself apart. Through my periscope, I saw the road split into a Y intersection. 2 more German tanks. Left or right? Wilmington screamed. Left, Poole said. But we're going straight through the middle. There is no middle. There's a hedgerow. Then we make a middle. Wilmington aimed for the gap. Ellis fired smoke at the right tank. The left tank fired first. The round missed by inches and exploded behind us. Wilmington aimed at the hedgerow, at solid earth and trees, and he gunned the engine. We hit at 40 miles per hour. The Sherman tilted up. 45 degrees, 50. We're going over, Martinez shouted. But Wilmington kept the throttle open. The tracks found something solid, and we were crashing through, airborne for half a second. We crashed down into the field beyond. Both German tanks were firing. Field's too soft. Find the hard ground, Poole snapped. That cart path. We found it and surged forward. The German tanks fired simultaneously. One hit behind us. The other hit our engine deck. Something inside broke. The engine started screaming. We were still moving. Fire's out, Wilmington reported. We've got maybe 2 minutes. Then we make 2 minutes count. We curved right, and it brought us parallel to the left German tank. 50 yards! Fire! Poole shouted. Ellis fired. The round hit below the turret ring. Smoke poured from their hatches. 1 down, Martinez screamed. The second tank was still tracking us. Smoke, Poole ordered. Ellis fired. The smoke shell erupted between us. Wilmington pushed the dying Sherman harder. She's not going to make it. She doesn't have to make it far. We drove blind through smoke. We burst out doing 20 miles per hour. The German tank was behind us. We'd bought 30 seconds. There, I pointed, the road, 200 yards. Wilmington, can you make it? I don't know. She's dying. Try. 15 miles per hour. The engine seizing. 10 miles per hour. German infantry running toward us. 5 miles per hour. But then I heard American voices. Our infantry pouring out of the hedgerows. Poole had done it. The Sherman's engine seized completely. We coasted the last 50 yards and stopped. Wilmington shut everything down. The silence was deafening. Then Poole opened his hatch and climbed out. I followed him. The German tank hunter was sitting against a tree 30 yards away, young, 17, maybe 18. He had a Panzerfaust next to him, loaded. He was watching us with those old eyes. Poole walked toward him. The German didn't raise the Panzerfaust. Poole stopped 10 feet away. They stared at each other. The German said something in German. I understood the tone. Exhaustion. Defeat. Poole unbuttoned his canteen, took a drink, then walked forward and handed it to the German. The boy took it, drank, handed it back. Poole nodded once, then walked back. "Why didn't you shoot him?" I asked. Poole looked at me. His face was covered in oil and sweat and dust. "He's 17 years old, and the war's already over. He just doesn't know it yet." We counted 3 tanks destroyed. 200 men had started that morning advance. 37 made it to the intersection. Martinez's lip wouldn't stop bleeding. Thompson couldn't stop shaking. Wilmington sat on the ground staring at the engine deck like he couldn't believe what we'd just driven through. Ellis climbed down and vomited behind a hedgerow. 40 years old. School teacher. He'd killed 2 German tanks that morning. In 3 weeks, he'd be going home. He'd never teach again. The school board said parents wouldn't want their kids taught by someone who'd killed. 6 Panzerfaust hits, the track destroyed, the engine scrap. The sponson and armor cracked. By every reasonable measure, we should have been dead. An officer from the infantry came over. "Your tank commander saved 30 men this morning," he said. "If you hadn't cleared this road, we'd still be pinned in those fields." I looked at Poole. He was sitting on the ground now, smoking a cigarette with hands that finally shook. What they didn't tell us afterward, what I only learned years later from captured German records, those 2 tanks at the intersection weren't the last ones. There were 3 more Panthers 200 yards farther up. Elite crews, veterans of the Eastern Front. They'd been ordered to hold at all costs. They withdrew instead. The commander wrote in his report that an American tank force of unknown size had broken through with unprecedented aggression, and that remaining in position would have resulted in pointless losses. 1 tank, 1 dying Sherman. They thought we were a whole company. Poole got a new tank the next day. In the mood, too. He'd destroyed 12 German tanks before that morning. He'd destroy 46 more before the war ended. Highest scoring American tank ace in the European theater. Wilmington went home in September. Doctors said the stress had given him ulcers. He opened a garage in Delaware, married his high school sweetheart, had 4 kids. He never drove fast again, never went over 35 miles per hour. Said he'd used up all his speed in France. Martinez transferred to a tank destroyer unit, got hit by a Panzerfaust outside Aachen in November, lost his left arm, lived to 83. I went to his funeral. His grandkids had no idea he'd loaded 16 rounds under fire. Thompson never stopped shaking, not completely. The doctors called it battle fatigue. He got discharged in 1945, worked as a bank clerk. His fiancée married someone else while he was overseas. He never married, but he lived. Ellis went home, couldn't teach anymore, worked in his brother's hardware store, died in 1967. Heart attack. He was 53. I stayed with the battalion until Germany surrendered, made it home in August 1945, went to college on the GI Bill, taught history, got married, had 3 kids, 7 grandkids, 4 great-grandkids, all because Poole drove through instead of backing up. Here's what that one morning on one forgotten road cost. Buchanan and his crew, 5 men. Davis, who I watched burn. Jenkins, who I never found. Ramirez, Kowalski, and Buchanan himself. Morrison and his crew. 5 more men. I can't remember all their names. That feels like a greater sin than anything else I did in the war, that I let their names slip away. But here's what that morning created. Wilmington's 4 kids, his 9 grandkids, his 16 great-grandkids and counting, Martinez's family, 3 kids, 7 grandkids. Thompson lived to 68, no kids. But he volunteered at a youth center in Philadelphia for 20 years. How many kids did he help? How many lives did he touch? Ellis's brother's hardware store stayed open until 2003. How many people did it employ? How many families did it support? My own children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. None of them would exist if Poole had followed doctrine and backed up. 37 men made it to that intersection. Those 37 men had kids. Those kids had kids. I did the math once. Over 300 people alive today because Poole drove through instead of retreating. The thing about forgotten battles is that nobody forgets them except history. The families remember. The wives who waited for telegrams. The mothers who hung gold stars in their windows. The kids who grew up with ghosts at the dinner table. Pont-Hébert fell 2 days after we cleared that road. The advance pushed south. The breakout from Normandy succeeded. France got liberated. Germany surrendered. The war ended. You can draw a line from Poole's decision that morning all the way to the end of the war in Europe. That's overstating it, probably. One tank didn't win the war. But one tank on one morning opened one road, and that road was part of the advance, and the advance was part of the breakout, and the breakout was part of the victory. I'm 98 years old. Poole's been gone since 1991. Cancer. We wrote letters for 40 years, never talked about that morning directly. Didn't need to. The last letter he sent me, 3 months before he died, he wrote this. I still don't know why they didn't kill us. I've thought about it for 46 years. 17 positions. 6 hits. We should have died. You should have died. All those kids should have died. And we didn't. I don't know if that's luck or grace or just chaos. I don't know if it means anything at all. I keep that letter in my desk. Read it sometimes when the memories get too loud. I was there. I saw it happen. I'm probably the last one left who did. And I still don't know why we lived when so many others died. Maybe there's no reason. Maybe that's the point. Maybe survival doesn't need to make sense to matter.